is beyond disgusting. And as the Palestinian...
Okay, I'm going to begin. Don't worry. All right, I'm going to... I have a lot of things to talk about, but I want to do this real quick. I saw something, but I don't see it now.
To quote a friend of mine, it's clobbering time.
If I need to tinkle. Hello, so I think this is one.
Well, I just saw something. I'm trying to find it, but I'm not seeing it at all. I'm looking, but I'm not seeing
Israel.
it.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm looking, but I'm not seeing it.
And Gaza up.
I saw it, but then I don't see it anymore. I don't know what's up.
And Gaza.
Looking for it.
Can't.
All right, we're just gonna go because time is against us. And I was looking at something, they showed me like a box office number here somewhere. Let me see. Try following. Yeah, let me see.
Well,
I don't know how accurate the update was. I was trying to find it, but apparently it just disappeared on me. It's just here. Okay, so here is Superman's domestic. Okay.
what is the...
Okay, I can't seem to find any more box office here, so I'm just gonna chill with that. I saw something about like over the weekend it's expected to make $480 something million globally. That's what I saw. I can't seem to find it now. Here it is.
This is
Warner Bros. Superman passed the 200 million international mark on Friday. Estimated international total through Friday stands at 200 million. Estimated global total through Friday stands at 472.4 million. So that's its box office there. All right, so let me get into what we're going to do because I already spent 4 minutes on this. Shit, wrong place. Wrong fucking place. Okay. All right, here we go. So this is what I wanted to actually find here. So they say that box office report says Warner Brothers Superman crossed an estimated... What the fuck? Hey, man. What the fuck? I thought I just tagged that fucking shit. What the fuck? Should be probably up here. What the fuck? This is so fucking weird. Maybe they pulled it. But what the fuck? Well, all right, man. Twitter's weird, man. Y'all just saw it. They said that anyway. They said that it was like 472 million or something like that. It was at. Again, it popped up and then it disappeared. So it is what it is. So anyway, that's what they were saying. Somewhere around 472, 480 something on Friday. Fantastic Four has started off very well. Fantastic Four is actually at, I believe, It made 57 million on Friday. Thursday it made 24 million, something like that. So it's off to a good start. Superman on Friday it made 7.1 million. So I think Thursday it made 6 point something million domestic. Now they're saying that internationally it made like 200 million internationally, and that also domestically, that's the Kumi at least. Domestically, it raked in, it seems as though 271 million. So it's doing good numbers so far. Not the numbers it needs to make Man of Steel numbers or otherwise. It's very much slowing down. Because I think during the week it was 200 and what was it? Last weekend it was what? 230 something million coming out of the weekend, 232 or something like that. And it only made like 40 something million, if so much. And I don't even think it made that. I can't remember. It was 230, maybe it made 30 something million. But it's going to slow down, obviously, because now its legs are not that bad. It's a 57 drop from last week's Friday to this week Friday. So it's doing okay numbers, okay? It's doing okay numbers. I'm not going to lie. Superman's doing okay numbers. The thing about it is Fantastic Four is coming out this weekend. Let's see if it affects Superman's bottom line. Superman's tapering out. If I'm not mistaken, right now, let me show you something. Right now, fucking hell is this, bro? Jurassic World. There you go. Couldn't remember the name for nothing, bro. Jurassic World Rebirth has pretty much tapered to a crawl. It is now at 679 million, so it's really creeping right now. It's not being able to really, it just lost all its momentum. And I think that's the same thing that's going to happen with Superman. It's the same thing that's going to happen with Fantastic Four. Superman's like going to lose its momentum, all right, as it tapers off. Now they're saying it's 470 something going into the weekend. I don't know, right? There was another forecast saying at the end of the weekend it'd be like 480 something million or something like that. I don't know. We're gonna see. I find the numbers are rising rather quickly. Like it's making. I'll check it out. I'll work things out, but I think it's those numbers are more or less correct. So Superman's kind of very solidly plodding along, but it's losing steam. Now we have to ask the question: how this movie would continue to go on? I don't know. But Fantastic Four is out there, and we're going to see how Fantastic Four does in the cinemas. Once again, these two movies I'm not really interested in. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about Zack Snyder's Justice League being put into theaters, because this is a movie that did not see theaters at all. And what do you think it would outperform Superman, or outperform what DC's most recent offering is? That's the question. And they would not have to put out any extra money. This movie had already seen IMAX. Zack Snyder tested out, it was IMAX ready. So how would this movie have performed? And I want to talk a little bit about that. First of all, though, let's just go through this really quickly. Release the Snyder Cut said a fantastic 54% drop from last week for Superman on Friday. Absolutely clubbered. It was a drop of 70%, I think, 2 weeks before, something like that. So, WMJ says it was also removed from theaters early when it was less than 130 million away from hitting $1 billion. And even after WB sabotage, BBS still managed to become one of the best-selling Blu-rays of all time. It is. That is true. Now, there's a couple of things I wanted to say about this. One is that BVS, what was I going to say? Oh, he said, they didn't allow it to make the billion. They pulled it from cinemas very quickly. I think the other reason was because Civil War was coming around the corner. And so they pulled it because it would compete with Civil War in the theaters. I think it was something like that. And it was getting bad press because remember the press was against it, and then the critics were against it. It was a lot of people trying to destroy this version of DC, and the reason they were trying to do that is because, as you all know now, if you don't know it, I'm going to tell you right now, it's because what Jeff Johns and all of these people in DC were trying to do, and even the executives, is not just try to catch up with Marvel and be like Marvel, but they wanted Disney to buy over DC. So this has been a plan from way back in the day. And so Zack Snyder was kind of fucking that plan up. That's one. Two, Zack Snyder's messaging in his movies was something that Hollywood, the CIA-led Hollywood, the Mossad-led Hollywood, didn't like. They didn't like his messaging. Comic book movies, at least the Marvel kind, were trying to spread this information which would program people into a certain way of behaving. Okay? So that was the two major reasons. Now, who did it better, Zack Snyder or James Gunn? See, the thing with Snyder fans, y'all falling for the trap. Y'all keeping Superman relevant. That is why once you keep a topic going, and relevant, that is how the topic can keep on moving forward. So you guys are actually helping James Gunn. He's trying to get you to react. So he's doing a knee-jerk reaction to get you to react. And I'm not going to cover that. This Snyderverse stuff was real cool and everything. I don't really care for James Gunn. But there is something that Tony Snyder pulled out there, which was really true. James Gunn's diagrams and stuff really remind us of what Joss Whedon did. So it's the same system. It's the same people. This is the same Jeff Johns led, Joss Whedon led, Walter Hamada led program. It's the same thing. And this time they're trying to extract as much money from it as they possibly can. They're using every tool. And trust me, social media, they're using as many tools as they can. And they're doing this because, and they're very aggressive with it because they know, and they're lying about it. Let me tell you something. This is what I truly believe. Just like what they did with Captain Marvel, they're trying to pad the cinemas. And they can only do it domestically. So they're padding the cinemas. That is what they're propping up this movie. So it's costing them a hell of a lot of money to do this PR spin and to make this movie look like it's profitable. It's a whole set of PR spin. It's costing them a pretty penny to do this. They are making a tremendous loss off of this to present the picture that they're actually doing something profitable. To push their agenda, the whole idea behind this is David Zaslav is pushing an agenda to hopefully get Disney to buy DC. So this is why they need this positive. This is why it's a whole bunch of lies. The first thing they said was Superman has the highest grossing opening weekend of all time, past Man of Steel, when it comes to Superman opening Superman solo films. That's a lie. It's all a lie. And we saw through it. Second lie that they did. Oh man, this fucking country, bro. A motherfucker is coming down the street making noise to compete again. Get your ass out. Motherfucker. So disgusted, man. Yeah, the second thing is that you also have them trying not just to push this narrative, but they're also trying to present this image that this movie is extremely successful. So they're padding the numbers inside of those cinemas. They're trying to create this image so the general audience will go see this movie. But the movie has already run its course. So it's going to do what it's going to do. Their goal is to try to get past 563 million based on their report that the budget of this film is 225 million. I don't believe the budget of this film is 225 million, but whatever they say, right? They got tax breaks and all of that, so probably they factored it in to get 225. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Now I'm hearing that this movie is close to $500 million. When I looked the last time, when I looked at Wednesday's numbers, it was at 430 something. And all of a sudden it jumps up to 470 something or 480 something. I don't know how they did that. right? Domestic, all around. Maybe internationally and domestically, you put them together. I don't know. But what I can tell you is that regardless, this movie is going to be a flop if it can't make 563, right? We're going to go with their numbers, 563, right? But let's say the truth is usually in between, right? So between 563 and 814, we're looking at 735. That's the average. 735. Now, my question is, can this film make 735 million? Absolutely not. We saw what happened with Jurassic World. Jurassic World doesn't even look like it's going to make $700 million. Right? Fantastic Four is in its run now. So that's going to take over everything. It already has. So how much Superman will make, we don't know. I see the dialogue out there, Superman and Fantastic Four. We could have both of them. We could go see both of them. Fuck you. You know nobody going to watch Superman now. People are going to see Fantastic Four. Stop the bullshit. Stop the bullshit. All right? Anyways, that was not the point. The point is, could this movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Ultra Biased Snyder fan says Galactus literally does this in the new Fantastic Four movie. It's pretty interesting. You're definitely blind and dishonest if you don't see how Zack Snyder's comic book movies impacted comic book movies in general. Yep. So, could that possibly happen? I'm going to break down how I think Zack Snyder if you put out Zack Snyder Justice League this year, I don't care where you put it. You put it out. You make an announcement, of course, so everybody knows worldwide that this movie that did not see cinemas is going to see cinemas. I'm going to tell you how this will go. Scribe Phoenix L. Johnny says, now the Metropolis fight. And Scribe Phoenix says, now choke on it and shut up. Where Superman did a lot of damage to to Darkseid. So that was really cool. And let me just show you what I'm talking about, lest you do not understand. Here's Superman saving people, defeating Zod at the same time, alone. No Justice Gang, no Super Dog, no metahumans. Literally fought multiple trained Kryptonian soldiers who were stronger than him. Took multiple beatings from them, yet coming back with zero time wasted. And I guess what y'all enjoy, 1A shit. I just want to say, though, he did have help from the National Guard, even though, and it was very important because, remember, the National Guard drove the Kryptonian ship into the World Engine. So he did have some help. He didn't just single-handedly take on everybody. But, and Lois Lane was part of it. But at the same time, we saw Superman as Superman. He was kicking some ass. I hadn't seen Superman kick ass like that ever. So that was really awesome. Notice all the hate for Superman's suit on Twitter has stopped? Nope. It still looks like shit. We're just tired of flogging a dead horse, flogging the story for lack thereof. It's much more entertaining at present. Super Shanghai says, bro said he didn't like it in the nicest possible way, and people still mad.
Hating? How am I hating? I just said I didn't connect with it heavy. It's all right. But I definitely think that James Gunn can do it. But I just personally didn't connect with the Superman movie heavy. You hating? How am I hating? I just said I didn't connect with it heavy. It's all right.
Yeah, it was just all right. Like, I didn't think it was crazy.
L take. I don't give a fuck what type of nigga W take. You always hate, nigga. Hey, Leland's lawyer. Hey, young nigga mods. I ain't gonna say too much. He asked me my take. I gave him my take. Get that dumbass nigga out of here, man.
Oh, get him out of here. Oh, there it is. Told you so.
I don't agree, but I respect your take. That's what I like. I like to hear that. And I'm not gonna lie to you. I can see how niggas wouldn't agree. Like, I'm not mad at anybody who thinks that hoe is the greatest, but I just personally didn't connect with it heavy.
What you talking about?
Super.
Gun ruin your crest design. It means Conqueror and Freak-Offs now. Yep. It's not the House of L anymore. Friendly reminder, we grew up with this idea. That's correct, sir. Laura Greek says, friendly reminder, Zack Snyder didn't want to adapt Injustice, and that Superman has in fact been Darkseid's herald. Yep, in the comics and in animated series, etc.
Most Americans do not want to go to war with Iran. And it didn't matter. The United States bombed Iran's nuclear sites on behalf of Israel anyway. What democracy? I have no power. The government's going to take part of my earnings that I worked really hard for, not to help my fellow American citizens who might need health care, who might have fallen on hard times and can't feed their families and need help with food assistance. It's not going to go to them. It's going to go toward the bombs that are terrorizing people in Gaza, the West Bank, Iran. In fact, there's a huge Armenian community in Iran, Christian Armenians, who are openly practicing their Christianity and going to church.
In Iran?
In Iran, yeah. Yep. Yes, I have family members. And
Why aren't they all genocided by Iran? I thought.
yeah, you would think that would happen, right? They're still able to practice their religion. They're still able to go to church.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's really, and the fact that Iran has a huge Christian population, I just think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Not explained.
No one ever talks about that because it goes against the grain. It goes against the narrative of Iran. Most Americans do not want to go to war with Iran.
Iran's actually quite a westernized country. And they're very democratic. You know, even though it's called the Islamic Republic of Iran, I think a lot of people get the wrong misconception. The revolution was due to the Islamic peoples, right? The people rose up against the government and removed the Shah. That's what happened in Iran. So when you have a coup that's backed by the people, it's different to a coup where somebody's trying to take power and abuse their power. Iran's been a very, very decent society. You can go live in Iran. I could go live in Iran. Iran's something like my country. And they have a well-established political system and so on. They have congresses, they have presidents, they have figureheads and stuff like that. So, you know, people get the wrong impression about these countries because of the propaganda that the West will put against these countries. But these are really good countries. What makes you happy? Watch Batman v Superman Ultimate Edition. Oh yeah, that's a hell of a movie, man. It's a hell of a movie. Imagine your father standing in front of you, trembling from hunger. Imagine dying of hunger before you die. Here in Gaza, fathers die before their children because hunger kills them silently while they try to hide their pain, so their children won't feel it. You guys need to do something. I need you guys to donate. I need you guys to help out these brothers and sisters. Nolan knows best. Christopher Nolan. There's no superhero science fiction film coming out these days. Why don't see Zack Snyder's influence is true. If you watch BBS and Superman back to back, you see how annoyingly surface level the writing and dialogue in Gunn's movie is. Every character needed to explain everything what's happening in the movie. BBS, on the other hand, amazing work, Chris Terrio. Yeah, for sure. So this guy here, which calls himself Lex Luthor's real account, he says, name a bigger upgrade. And they say that Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is has been upgraded to whatever this guy's name is, Lex Luthor. Now, I will tell you this. In the movie, Lex Luthor has many plans to destroy Superman in Gunn's movie. And he fails at every single one of them. Right? In fact, he gets beaten up by the dog in the end. This is the only Lex Luthor I know of in live action that has gotten his ass beaten up and has been utterly defeated. Every other Lex Luthor I know, even if he ends up in prison or whatever, he gets what he wants. Except for, I guess, Superman Returns Lex Luthor, who lost. But the point I'm making is, Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is superior to this Superman 2025 Lex Luthor for this reason, and mainly this reason only. He was able to kill Superman. He was able to make Superman look bad to the world, and then he was able to kill him using Doomsday. He succeeded at his mission of either showing the fraudulence of the god, that Superman was no god, and that makes Jesse Eisenberg's rendition of Lex Luthor superior to this Lex Luthor in Superman 2020. Not to mention this Lex Luthor in 2025. I hate to say it, but his plans were really stupid. I mean, if you have a clone of Superman, well, you just use the clone of Superman as if he's Superman and do crimes and create a bad reputation for Superman. You know, digging all into Fortress of Solitude just to find dirt on Superman and introduce that into the movie, which was unnecessary. I mean, it was just stupid. So, stupid Lex Luthor, a parody of Lex Luthor. Ah, that's the word. A parody of Lex Luthor, this guy is saying, is better than Lex Luthor himself. Oh, get the fuck out of here. Just retarded. Superman is making $1 billion at the box office. That's just retarded. Ultra biased Snyder fan says Man of Steel sold 80 million tickets in 2013. Superman will sell 60 million tickets. I don't know how he got that, but whatever. That's all the story of Hollywood. Inflated ticket prices on premium screens as the audience shrinks. Don't you understand? Zack Snyder went back in time to make Superman succumbing to the anti-life and being Darkseid's puppet established trope. He must be stopped. He's being sarcastic. My exact same reaction. Fantastic Four looked like a planned, organized movie, whereas Superman is just shit.
But ultimately, I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did.
So this is the symbol of the House of L, and the House of Hell now stands for conquering, subjugation, and forming harems. Why does he still wear the symbol with that pride?
You guide them, Cal.
You know, they didn't have this problem, Zack Snyder.
Not if you give.
There's Henry Cavill Superman. By the way, Henry Cavill Superman was trending on this platform for a good minute this week. Michael Wilkinson's suit isn't just clothing, it's part of the mythology. It reflects a Kryptonian heritage crafted with alien materials and intricate designs that speak to an ancient lost civilization. The way he designed the suit really came from the House of L. Yes, very awesome. Baggy as fuck soup, here's the real Superman. Restore the Snyderverse. Restore the Snyderverse, baby. We had it all, man. Okay, so let me get... Now that the 11th flop is basically over, can we get back to DC being DC? It's not a flop yet. We got to wait a little bit. It's not too much longer. Not too much longer. Depending on how this goes this weekend, we'll know. So don't worry. Zack Snyder built a whole cinematic language while we can't even build a coherent metaphor. He's out here crafting visual poetry. You out here rhyming car with car keys. Yeah. Zack Snyder's Justice League 2 doesn't need a jump start, and Man of Steel's already got a sequel. Bring Zack and the crew back for Justice League 2 and 3. Let us go. So, let me see if I can find it. KG Crossover says, K4 was kind of nice, better than Superman 100%. Has a couple of blueprint moments. Let's see. Wow, y'all really going off the deep end, huh? So their gun fans are review bombing Fantastic Four, that's how evil, vile, and nasty these people are. And I know it's Casey Bloyd's behind this, but these people are just assholes, man. They're just straight up assholes. So anyway, I have not addressed the question, which is the question that I'm trying to get to. So let me see if I can get there. Trying to get there. We'll get there in a minute. Snyder's not coming back. Ben Affleck's The Batman says, you sure about that? Let me see. Friday's box office report. Fantastic Four, 57 million. Fantastic Flop, 7 million. Yes, Fantastic Four has made 57 million, 1 million more than Superman did.
James Gunn is the one, he got rid of Henry Cavill. He said, no more Henry Cavill. We're going to hire this other guy instead. And I can't say I'm happy about that either. The people want Henry Cavill, and no one will just give us Henry Cavill. Like, no hate to Liam Hemsworth or whoever this new Superman is, but give the people what they want.
I saw the poster.
David
I thought it was
Cornfield.
Henry Cavill, honestly.
It's not. It's just like, see, it's always just like a lesser version of what we once had. That's all that we get. James.
Yeah, they don't listen to the fans. They don't listen to the fans. Fantastic Four was better than Superman. Yeah.
Specific take on the character. I wanted to do a guy who was.
How's that $1 billion Superman film doing? This means a symbol of hope. This means a symbol of harem. Okay, here we are. So this is my theory on if Zack Snyder's Justice League went into cinemas this year, it will make about 500 to 700 million. And this is how much Snyder fans bring to the table. Now, let me just say, I haven't catered for inflation, so it could be a lot more. Okay, but the excitement that would happen if the Snyder Cut was going to go into cinemas, even though it's a 4-year-old film, even though a lot of people have seen it, translating that into box office is a totally different story. And I'm telling you, that would be incredible. Now, where did I get these numbers from? Well, let's look at Suicide Squad 2016. Suicide Squad 2016 was supported very heavily by Snyder fans. Okay? Supported very heavily by Snyder fans. And it grossed, I believe, 700 and something million. And then we had a sort of kind of sequel of it, which was The Suicide Squad. And it didn't even gross $170 million. I think it made $169 million. When you subtract the Suicide Squad from The Suicide Squad, you get $580 million. So basically what I'm saying is that there were other people, the general audience, that also contributed. But the bulk of people who went, saw this movie multiple times, who really supported it, wanted to see it win, gave it some legs, were Snyder fans. To the tune of $580 million. When you look at Wonder Woman 2017, and then Wonder Woman 1984, you will find that the difference between those two is $653 million. Once again, I do believe Snyder fans had a lot to do with Wonder Woman 2017 being successful. Even though I know there were a lot of ladies in a demographic that went and saw Wonder Woman 2017, the general audience kind of opened up to it. It was wildly successful. And Wonder Woman 1984 was not supported by the majority of Snyder fans. In fact, many people stayed and didn't go watch it. I believe Snyder fans they are the major demographic of DC right now. Okay? And that movie, the difference between the two films was $653 million. Now, I don't think that there are probably other factors why Wonder Woman 1984 didn't do so well. But by and large, it's very clear most Snyder fans didn't see it. I went and saw it. Damian Acton and Vincent went and saw it. But most Snyder fans didn't go see it. And the difference here is $653 million. Okay. Aquaman was a highly successful film. It did $1.15 billion. And the sequel did $403 million. Now, I can tell you for a fact, Snyder fans did not go and support that movie. And yes, I'm sure part of the GA didn't go and support it either. But when you're talking about DC going audience, most of them didn't. As a result, Aquaman, the difference is $719 million. So I'm saying that if you were to put out Zack Snyder's Justice League, it would make something between $500 million and $700 million, not accounting for inflation. If you account for inflation today, it definitely will make those numbers and probably make the higher end. It might make $700 million. And then the word amount and the excitement that would be generated by that, that's the kind of money it would make. Would it make more money than Superman 2025? Fuck yes. Now, why I say it wouldn't make $1 billion if you would have put it in the cinema is because people saw it already. That's one. Two, it's more the diehard Snyder fans that will go see that, right? It's a 4-hour movie. They'd spend their money. And how do we know this? Well, just recently, there's a toy line that I forgot what the fuck this guy's name is. I always keep forgetting his name. But the creator of Spawn, he does toy lines. I just can't remember his name right now. If you guys know his name, say his name for me. And he, they have a fundraiser where they raise money to get these toys out there, to get it launched. This is almost the end of this toy line. So they wanted to get this special set up there. And they chose the Batmobile, particularly a BVS Batmobile and Zack Snyder's Justice League Batmobile, as well as, depending on what you want, you can also get the Trinity with it. You can also get all sorts of assortments with the Trinity with that, and a book. And I forgot what his name is. It'll come to me. McFarlane, that's right. Todd McFarlane, right? McFarlane Toys. They have already made that money that is necessary. I think you had to get to $400,000. They've already made the $400,000 within 72 hours. Within 72 hours. Within 24 hours, they had already made half the money, and they finished making all the money, raised all the money for that in 72 hours. Okay? $400,000 was necessary. That's the power of Snyder fans. That's what you're talking about when you talk about Snyder fans support the Snyderverse and any content with the Snyderverse, and stuff be going like that, right? The DVDs and Blu-rays for the trilogy, Man of Steel, BVS Ultimate Edition, Zack Snyder's Justice League. That shit clears shelves like that. Whoosh, gone. Martian Manhunter figures, Superman figures, Batman figures. You go right now, go on any site, look for them, and you'll see sold out or whatever. That's the demand for Zack Snyder stuff when it comes to DC. And they've made Zack Snyder so notorious because they mention him so much that people just out of curiosity would go and watch Zack Snyder's Justice League, particularly because, remember, it was on streaming particularly, and it was held hostage on streaming for a very long time. I don't think Zack Snyder's Justice League has played yet on Netflix. Netflix hasn't even gotten access to get Zack Snyder's Justice League. And it's only on HBO Max. It's not on Amazon. It's not on Netflix. You know, there's only one streaming service that still is holding this IP hostage, which is bullshit. And that's how much Warner Brothers is trying to sabotage this movie. They've been trying because their agenda is to fuse DC to get Disney to buy over DC. This is their whole fucking agenda. This is why they're pushing so hard, and they don't care if they lose money or whatever, because they're going to sell the IP out to Disney. This is what they really want to do. This is what these fucking execs want to do. And so us as fans saying restore the Snyderverse, that's why they tell you, oh, the Snyderverse is dead, move on. They keep on saying that over and over and over and get their shills and their fans and their butts to do that because they don't want to restore the Snyderverse, period. The company does not want to restore the Snyderverse. What they want to do is get DC sold off to Marvel. That's why they're always trying to be like Marvel. That's why they're always chasing down Marvel. That's why the storyline of Superman seems very similar to Fantastic Four. It's been espionage from the beginning, right? And they've been trying to get this hostile takeover. But the thing is, Marvel's not in a position to right now, because their movies are flopping as well, to actually facilitate that. The big win that they had was Deadpool and the Wolverine. And I told you guys, Deadpool and the Wolverine proved the fact that you could take Zack Snyder's Justice League or Zack Snyder's Snyderverse and you could merge it with Deadpool. Because if you wanted to do a DC Marvel fusion and get the whole fucking world to go watch it, Deadpool is your key. Deadpool and the Wolverine showed us this can be done. And again, they pleased the fans. The fans always wanted Wesley Snipes' Blade. Ryan Reynolds was so brilliant, he brought back Wesley Snipes' Blade. He even brought back Elektra. Right? It was that was not a hot number. That flopped. But the Blade did well. And they brought her back. And all I'm saying is, DC is so stupid. They don't understand what they could do with their IP. They could have that DC Marvel crossover. Right? They could have that big $2 billion, $3 billion movie. But they're so fucking stupid and so one-track mind that it has to be this way. Because executives don't read comics. If you've read a Superman comic, the early Superman comic, Superman #1 if you want, do you know that Superman is compared to Batman as an eerie figure moving through the night? Did you guys know that that was actually a description of Superman? I just went back yesterday and I read Superman #1, 1939. A series of stories. And that was a description for Superman. Superman was a strong man. He took a guy and flung him through the air in South America, and probably the guy landed to his death. Okay? So this is what I wanted to do. I wanted to compare it, and I wanted to make a case for it. And just to show you why you need to double, triple down, quadruple down on Restore the Snyderverse. Fuck anybody else's hashtag. Stay with the pure truth. Stay with what we began with. That's why I always stick with Release the Snyder Cut, because that's the original movement. You stay with the original movement. Don't go sidetrack with any other movements. You know, they got sell the Snyderverse to Netflix. Fuck that movement. Okay? No disrespect to Skywalker. But, bro, we're not interested in some sort of narrow way of getting this thing resolved. We're interested in a broad way. Restore the Snyderverse encompasses all of that. And that's the hashtag that needs to continue, because that was the mandate that was given back in 2021. When everybody, not just Snyder fans, but the general audience, the DC going audience, said restore the Snyderverse. That hashtag is the hashtag. Don't let that hashtag die. Keep it going. Okay? And you need to notice that a lot of times with that hashtag, that's the hashtag they don't like. That's the hashtag they'll come at you with. And these are not fans coming at you, because I know DC fans are not satisfied with the Superman movie that they saw. They think it's a piece of shit, which it's called super shit in the movie, and that's dead on correct. So what I'm saying to you is, keep on hashtagging Restore the Snyderverse. Make sure you can break Twitter. Make sure you can destroy Twitter. Keep that hashtag going all day, every day. Don't stop putting out the hashtag. Doesn't matter if you don't see it trending or you see it trending. Keep that hashtag. That's the hashtag that needs to keep going. Okay? And regardless of what James Gunn and Warner Brothers say, we know they lie a lot. So we have to count on the numbers, the figures, right? We know that what the budget of that movie, Superman, was. It was a bloated budget. It was a huge budget that they attributed to that movie. James Gunn lied about it, right? Warner Brothers lied about it as well. And we know they spent plenty of money employing bots, buying out writers, doing their advertising for Superman, and so on and so on. And the reason they're doing this is to try to force a narrative. And you see how they treat the correctors. The weirdest thing is that they used to say Zack Snyder hated Superman. Now, James Gunn doesn't only hate Superman, but he disrespects Superman in so many ways that's not funny. He reminds me of Joss Whedon. And surprise, surprise, Joss Whedon, Jeff Johns, and James Gunn, they're coming back together to write shit. I wouldn't be surprised ghostwriting for some of these movies was Joss Whedon, because it's the same kind of jokes. So as I'm a passionate DC fan, DC fans, y'all need to be lining up with us, the Snyder fans. We are not your enemy when it comes to DC. You need to align with us, the DC fans that think that it's a travesty what happened with Superman. Y'all need to line up with us. The establishment is pushing this movie. It is not the fans. It is not the audience. This movie was not made for the audience. James Gunn doesn't give a fuck about you fans. And he's insulting you and he's making fun of you. He's not just making fun of Snyder fans. Even Gunn fans, y'all are so stupid, y'all don't realize he keeps on mocking you and making fun of you. When you have to apologize for something he's done, where you said James Gunn will bring something better, he'll do something better. Look at Zack Snyder. You criticize Zack Snyder for what he did, and then James Gunn brings the exact same thing, and now you're tongue-tied. Now you have to apologize for it. He's fucking with you. He's laughing at you, and you don't even realize that you're so stupid. He doesn't care about DC fans. What part of that you don't understand? He doesn't see DC as the thing. He's a Marvel guy. He sees DC as an inferior product. And he's here to destroy the brand. He's here to bring Superman down so that Disney could buy him up for a cheap price. And David Zaslav's an asshole. He doesn't realize he's going hook, line, and sinker with James Gunn. James Gunn's looking to fuck over everybody if he can, and then laugh at them. And you guys are playing along with that. Even some of you Snyder fans, you're playing along, and I understand the enemy of my enemy is my friend, but even that F1 thing, that Fantastic Four, you're going to turn around and go watch Marvel? Is that what you're going to go do? You're going to go watch Marvel now? You a DC fan. See, all of y'all getting played. If you go and watch Fantastic Four and you pay money to go see Fantastic Four because you want Superman to sink, then you just put money in Kevin Feige's pocket. Kevin Feige's laughing at you because you were the one that claimed you didn't like Marvel movies. And I mean, Fantastic Four is a great movie because we know it's not a great movie. It's a shitty movie. It's the same like all those other movies. In fact, Fantastic Four, from what I hear, is the same thing as Fantastic Four, the Rise of the Silver Surfer. It's the same shit. They ripped it off and then they modernized it a little bit. So there's no creativity out there. Matt Reeves couldn't make anything creative, even in the serious movies. F4 didn't make anything creative. Superman didn't make anything creative. Jurassic World Rebirth didn't make any creative. We've had a bunch of shit so far for this year. But you guys, it's so bad that you guys are willing to swallow stuff that's mediocre shit. Fantastic was mediocre, and we all know this. In fact, some people thought it was going to off the gate, coming out the gate. So what Superman's trying to do is twin with Fantastic Four, just like a Barbie twinned with Oppenheimer, and hopefully both films will do well. That's what he's trying to do. You have to pay attention, guys. You got to use your brain. But anyways, so if Zack Snyder's Justice League goes into cinemas this year, it could make between 500 million and 700 million, which I cannot say for Fantastic Four or for Superman. Superman, supposedly the greater IP up to 2, but I don't even know if Superman will make 500 million. Right now, Superman should be coming to a halt. They're saying it's made 470 something million. I don't know. The Friday box office is usually the bigger one, and then it gets smaller and smaller as you go through the weekend. I don't know, but what I do know is this: at the end of the day, Superman is going to cost that studio ridiculous amounts of money for them to project the image that it did well. It's going to cost them a pretty penny. And they're behaving like they're going to move ahead with other projects. They're not going to move with other projects after this Superman flop. And it's flopping. Right? They're lying to you. They're talking about this is what we're gonna do, Supergirl, Clayface, and so on. And James Gunn gonna get the green light to keep it. Don't even try that, motherfucker. You ain't got the money for that. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for the likes and subscribes. I am Christ I am disciple. Wishing you guys a blessed